Welcome to another episode of Swara Presence Beyond the Boundary, powered by Solus. Today we are joined by South Africa skipper Laura Wolvaardt. So let's just straight away jump into the interview.
Hi Laura, welcome to the show. Let me start by talking about captaincy. How is it? How the captaincy is feeling, and what's the future forward?
I think it's something that I've enjoyed so far. It's obviously been a bit new for me and something to get used to, but I think the hardest part is over. I think it was tough at first to learn all the plans and chat to all the bowlers and figure out, being in the bowlers meetings and those type of things, but I think it's slowly getting easier as I'm doing it for more and more games. So yeah, I'm enjoying the challenge.
Yeah, what's the most toughest part of captaincy?
Probably for me, it's just to be adaptable on the field. I think I'm a person who likes to plan out things quite a bit, and captaincy is not always something that you can plan beforehand because a lot of things can happen in the game that you can't sort of predict. It's sort of just being able to adapt to the conditions, which has been a bit challenging.
Personally, since taking over, you had that player of the series in T20 in Pakistan, and now the ODI player of the series. So captaincy isn't affecting your batting. So how important is that?
Yeah, I think that was the most important part for me, was to see if it would affect my batting at all. But I think in a way it's helped a bit. I think it's made me think about myself and my own batting a bit less, which has actually made me bat a bit better. I think sometimes I can overthink my batting quite a lot and sit in my room and think about the bowlers and everything. So now it's actually just taken my mind off of it and helped me think of other aspects of the game, which has freed me up a bit, I think.
Now let me take you back to the start of the year. So I was at Newlands and you guys had that amazing semi-final win in front of the home crowd, family and friends. So what was one of the greatest days of your career so far?
That was definitely the greatest game of my career. Even though we lost the final, I think it was just a really special moment for women's cricket in South Africa. To have a sold-out crowd. Cape Town is my home city as well, so it's my home ground, and having all of my family there, all of my friends, it was very special.
Yeah, you guys might not have won the final, but it was already history when you guys made it to the final, becoming the first South African side to make it to the final of an ICC event. So how big was that feeling overall as for South African cricket?
Very special. I think, making the final for the first time was very special. Obviously disappointing to not go all the way, but Australia are a world-class side and have played in a lot of finals, so they handle the pressure quite well. But very special, and hopefully it's able to improve women's cricket a lot in the country.
Now let's come to the present. You guys won the ODI series in Pakistan, and now you guys have won the series against New Zealand at home. So what works for South Africa as an ODI side?
I think obviously two great series wins. I think Pakistan was tricky, being in conditions that we'd never been in before. And New Zealand now are a very good side that we were able to win the first two. Obviously a bit disappointed to not win the third match in both series, but I think I'm very happy with where our ODI cricket is at the moment and how we've lost a lot of senior players. Just to be able to still perform in the format, I think has been really good for the group.
As far as personal form goes, you had that 100 in the second ODIs. You have been scoring runs, but you haven't been getting that 100. So how satisfying it was to get that century, that too as the captain.
It was very satisfying. I think obviously I've gotten quite a few 50s in my career, but haven't made it all the way to the 100 mark as many times. So it's definitely something that I've been trying to work on or to get better at. Very satisfying, and it kind of feels like a lot of hard work over the winter has been paying off.
Talking of ODIs against South Africa, now second just behind India in the ICC Women's Championship table. So how important it is that to have that momentum going into the 2025 ODI World Cup?
It's very important. I think if we need to get all the points that we can get so that we don't have to go to qualifiers. Obviously we're second at the moment, but still have a lot of really good sides to play. I think we still have Australia and England and India as well left to play for points, so still a lot of tense cricket coming up, but we're definitely focusing on getting those points to qualify directly.
Now it's time for some T20Is. New Zealand are a tough side in T20Is. You guys had some tough time in Pakistan, so how important it is to have that win in that T20I series or start the T20I series well?
Yeah, it's very important for us. I think obviously the Pakistan T20s didn't go ideal. I think we narrowly lost all three of them, and scoring close to 150 in all three. So I think New Zealand are a very good T20 side as well. They have some world-class players like Sophie Devine and Amelia Kerr who can kind of take the game away single-handedly. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to sharpen up on our plans there and show a lot of intent if we want to win those games.
Yeah. So what are the specific areas that South Africa need to work as a T20, I say?
I think in Pakistan we just lacked with a bit of execution with the ball. I think we had the plans in place but just missed our lines and lengths a little bit. And then I think with the bat as well, we had decent power plays, but then between overs kind of 16 to I think about 14, we slowed down a bit too much. So I think that's something that we're going to look at this series to go a little bit harder in that phase and see if we can make the most of it.
Talking of batting, you have already formed a successful partnership with Tasmin Brits at the top. So what works for you guys as a pair?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed batting with Tasmin. I think she's sort of slotted into that aggressive opener role really well. She goes hard from ball one, and that takes a lot of pressure off the rest of the lineup when she goes wells and comes off. Yeah, I think she had a great tour of Pakistan, and it worked out in quite a lot of the games. So hopefully she's able to replicate that now in this T20 series.
Talking of individual players, two other players who have come leaps and bounds in recent times has been Nonkululeko Mlaba and Nadine de Klerk. Nadine de Klerk was the player of the series in Pakistan. So how do you look at their growth?
Both of them are really good cricketers. The exciting thing as well is they're both like 23 years old or 22, so they still have a long career ahead of them. I think Nonkululeko has been bowling exceptionally well, especially in T20 cricket. I think she's right up there in the rankings as well. And she's able to bowl in the power play as well for us, which has been a great option. And Nadine has been playing really good cricket lately. I think she's been batting that way in the nets for quite a while now, so I'm really glad that it's paying off and showing in the nets just how good of an all-around cricketer she is. And then she just adds that extra seam option as well, which I think is a really great addition to any side.
Yeah. You talked about losing senior players. You guys had that golden generation, the ODI World Cup, and lost a few after the T20 World Cup as well. So how difficult is it to adjust when you lose a lot of players?
Yeah, I think any side who sort of loses their 5 most experienced players in the space of a year is gonna struggle a bit, but I think we've managed it really well. I think it's been an exciting time to have some opportunities for some of the younger players, and I've really enjoyed how these younger players have stepped up in the last couple of series. Like you mentioned, Nonkululeko and Nadine have both grabbed the opportunities with both hands. So yeah, I've been very impressed so far, and hopefully we can keep going in this T20 series coming up.
Yeah, talking of great players, Marisan Kaap is still around. So how important is she to the leadership group?
Very important, I think, especially, well, she's important for all aspects because she brings world-class bowling and then combines that with probably some of the best batting I've seen in recent times. So yeah, she's just an amazing all-round cricketer, and the knowledge she has on the game has been really influential in the group. I think just with her having played in all conditions against basically all oppositions for such a long period of time, she's been invaluable to have on these tours, and I think she's really helped with that transition of losing a lot of senior players. I think it's been really vital that she's been here to help sort of bridge that gap a bit between the loss of players and the youngsters coming through.
One of the other senior players is Chloe Tryon. She recently completed 100 ODIs. So how do you look back at her contribution and her performance in the South Africa side?
Chloe's been really great to have back in the side. I think she's an incredible cricketer. She's going really well at the moment, and she's just adding that extra option with the ball as well, some left arm spin that's been coming out really nicely. So it just makes my life as captain a bit easier when I have batters that can bowl as well as she does. But yeah, she's not only on the field but off the field as well. She's just such a bubbly person, and I think she's crucial to the group just for a good atmosphere and a good vibe. And yeah, on the field she's just contributing in all aspects as well. So really glad to have her on the side.